This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Wealth Wednesday, where we give financial advice from Caleb Doane, who is the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks very much.
Yes. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a couple of different types of retirement accounts, right?
Yep.
So retirement accounts and non-qualified accounts. So can you start by breaking down what is the difference between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're kind of like two big categories of overall investment accounts. And most of the time when people think of investment accounts, they think of those retirement accounts, which are their, Roth IRAs, their 401k, maybe a traditional IRA. And those actually have special tax privileges associated with them, but they also come along with some extra rules that the government puts on those accounts too. Non-qualified accounts, on the other hand, are not necessarily for retirement, but then they also don't get some of those tax privileges. And so sometimes there's needs for both of them in people's overall financial plan. But starting with those, sort of retirement accounts, typically, they're tax advantaged, but one of the main rules associated with them is that you actually can't withdraw the money until you're 59 and a half years old.
It's that half.
Yeah.
It's every time.
They love to do it for some reason.
It's so weird.
I know, it's odd. So, it's great to take advantage of kind of the tax advantages associated with those. And of course, people need to have money set aside for after the age of 59 and a half, because that's typically when people retire. But a lot of people will say, what if I need to get some money before 59 and a half? What if I get, married in 10 years or move in 10 years or want to take a big 25th wedding anniversary vacation or something like that prior to retiring. And that's sometimes where some of these non-qualified or sometimes you'll hear them called brokerage accounts can come into play.
And so are there certain names of the non-qualified accounts that we will be familiar with? Yeah,
a lot of times you'll hear them called just like an individual brokerage account, or a lot of like married spouses have joint brokerage accounts. And so there's a couple kind of rules that are not applied to those brokerage accounts that can be helpful to take advantage of. One is that you can withdraw the money anytime you want from like a joint brokerage account. So you could put money in there today, and a year from now you could pull the money out. There wouldn't be any penalties associated with it, which is awesome. And then the second thing is there's no contribution limit on these accounts. So with a lot of the retirement accounts, the 401k, the Roth IRA, with a Roth, if you're under 50 years old, you can only contribute, it's like $6,500 in 2023. With a brokerage account or non-qualified account, you can contribute pretty much everything that you want in there. And so there's kind of different pros and cons to each of these accounts, but sometimes using both can be good for people.
And so for the non-qualified accounts, is there a particular age limit?
No, you can pretty much open it whenever you want, and you can withdraw it whenever you want. And so I've seen these work really well, especially for people maybe under the age of 50, because they have a longer time until retirement. And so there's more area for them to potentially need to make those withdrawals prior to 59 and a half. So it can be great for them. And a lot of times, if people already have what I often call their emergency fund saved up, let's say they have $15,000 or $20,000 in cash that they could immediately get to if there were some big expenses. If they have extra money on top of that maybe they don't need immediately, but they're a little worried about setting it aside all the way for retirement, sometimes these brokerage accounts can be really good, where we say, hey, we can get some market returns on this money, but you can still withdraw it in 5 years if you need to.
So I think I'm thinking, what is the main difference then between a non-qualified account and just a savings account?
Yeah, so the non-qualified, you can actually invest it in the market. So of course, a savings account, you're putting it in cash. The bank gives you, a percent on interest or whatever it might be. But the true benefit of the non-qualified is that you can invest it in the market. And typically when you put money in the market, you want to have at least a 5-year time horizon on that money. And so we can invest it, get some of those market returns. And of course, there'll be market fluctuation along the way. But the ideal scenario is that after 5 or 10 years, you'll have a gain in the account, and then you can make the withdrawal.
Okay, so should people consider having one of each or having both types to diversify the portfolio, as we kind of talked about before?
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's the great word to kind of think of, is the diversification there. So a lot of times, especially when people are, under the age of 50, we'll set them up with retirement accounts, and then we'll also do maybe a joint kind of non-qualified account as well. Just so, if they have big expenses prior to retirement, you can still tap into that account as well.
Right. And with the retirement accounts, of course, the biggest thing, as we talked about, is the tax benefit. Are there any tax benefits to the non-qualified accounts?
So with the non-qualified accounts, you contribute to it with after-tax dollars, so money that you've kind of already paid income taxes on, and when you contribute to the account, you only pay taxes on the gain. And so if you were to put in $10,000 into a non-qualified joint account, and it grows to 15, you pull all $15,000 out, you actually only pay capital gains tax on the $5,000 of growth. And for most people, the capital gains tax is 15%. So it's actually even less than what your typical income tax is for most people.
Okay. Something to ponder on. Thank you, Caleb.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing that and breaking that down. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial or to receive your complimentary consultation, we'll have their phone number listed below to give them a call, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.